Hello everyone, good evening everyone, and good morning to all who have joined us from the US time zone. So first of all, special thanks to Amitabh for waking up so early in the morning and spending his time to share all the symposium highlights. So in today's session, he'll be covering mostly about the Symposium 2019 highlights and some of the stuffs which is especially for the Sitecore MVPs, like how you can become the MVP and what all things are required to be in part of that amazing Sitecore MVP community. So without wasting any time, I'm directly handing over to Amitabh. And to all our participants, if you have any queries, you can drop your questions over a YouTube chat window and we can take it at the end of the session. So Amitabh, you can start now. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Hello, SUGNCR. Thank you for the opportunity for me to present at your Sitecore user group, and thanks everyone who have joined the session. Topic for my today's presentation is what happened in Orlando doesn't stay in Orlando. This is basically a recap of the Sitecore Symposium 2019, which took place in Orlando in November, between 4th November to 9th of November. We would be talking about what all happened at the symposium and what all coming new into the Sitecore. Uh, so if you are not able to attend symposium this year, it may be a motivation for you to join that symposium next year, which is taking place in Chicago between 26th of October and till 30th of October. Who am I? My name is Amitabh Vyas. I'm a Sitecore Technology MVP 2019. It's been 13 plus years in IT and 7 plus years in Sitecore. I have worked on various Sitecore versions which start from 5.3 to 9.0 and currently working on 9.2. Uh, I'm currently working as a Sitecore architect and with no exception to my name, I'm a big Bollywood fan. I love driving, music, and cricket. If you want to reach out to me and if you want to connect to me or if you want to follow me, I'm on these also social media channels. I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn. I have my own personal technical blog, which where I write post on most of the stuff on site on Sitecore. My blog have recently crossed 35,000 hits in just 2.5 years. This is my personal Gmail ID. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on Stack Exchange and I'm on Slack. If anyone on the call is not on Stack Exchange and Slack, you are missing a lot of things into the Sitecore world. So please join them today. This is our agenda looks like. We'll start with a quick recap of Sitecore Symposium 2019. Then we'll see what new things are coming up to the Sitecore world. We'll start with SIA, which is Sitecore Install Assistance. Then I'll talk about my favorite module, which is Sitecore Forms. What are new things new features coming into the Sitecore Form onto Sitecore version 9.3. Then we'll talk about how Sitecore is planning to reversion the SXA. Then we'll talk about more features and more modules coming into the Sitecore 9.3 platform. We'll talk a bit about Sitecore SaaS and Content Hub, and then we'll see what's cooking for the MVPs in the year 2020. So for the recap of Symposium 2019, I would like to start with 4 fantastic keynote speakers, which was part of Symposium this year. I will start with Magic Johnson, who is a basketball Hall of Famer and Olympic gold medalist and an entrepreneur. Basically, Magic Johnson started his keynote by coming out into the different sections of audience and letting people take pictures with him and giving them high fives rather than just being on the stage and being a keynote speaker. He was so friendly and lively with the whole section of audience. It was such an inspirational and motivational keynote, and I personally like the way he talked about that. What are the key points he took from his basketball court to his business? which was basically discipline, preparation, and competitive, competitive, competitiveness. I'm sorry for that. Uh, Also, he explained that whether in your personal life or your professional life, how emotional connection is very important. Uh, in both the scenarios, if we are in touch with any of the person in your personal life, obviously the emotional connection in the key. But if even if your work or your business, if you are dealing with your client in that scenarios as well, the connecting with the person emotionally is very important. And he gave a couple of advices like be committed, play your role, be the best what you do, and all kind of always try to be better. So like the way he presented his talk, and which was very inspirational and motivational. The next keynote presenter was Platon, who's basically a storyteller and a very well-known photographer. Uh, he told us a lot of stories about all the pictures all the pictures he have taken so far. I'll start with Stephen Hawking's, and uh, apart from all these awesome pictures he have took so far, he also told us a lot of stories which was very inspirational and very motivational. And there was a couple of story who was like so close to my heart that when we were actually listening the story, I was getting the goosebumps. So I'm not sure if the video recording of the keynotes would be available on the social media channels, but if those are, I would highly recommend everyone to go through those particular videos and have a look at the talk which Platon presented. The next keynote speaker was Rana and Al Kaliobi, who is an entrepreneur, scientist, and co-founder of a company named Effectiva. What they actually do is, since we are already working in Sitecore world, and we work on personalizing the content on our website. Think about you are watching a video, and the laptop camera is reading your expressions, and on the basis of your expressions, the content of the video is being changed. That is what Rana's Rana's company is currently working on. She talked about how to build human connection in the digital world. Basically, her product Effectiva can read the emotions in real time on base of those emotions, and the artificial intelligence will react accordingly. And this is pretty cool that they have the world's largest face database with 7 million faces and 5 million facial frames. So here I like to play a small video so you can get an understanding what exactly I'm talking about.
Tell me something. How does this make you feel? Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel sad? Does it make you feel surprised? Does it make you feel angry? What if I told you I knew how you were feeling without you having to say it? That I could see hundreds of micro expressions rippling across your face? That I could understand them, react to them? What if I told you this was already happening today? Hi, this is me, your narrator, and this is Rana El Kayubi. Rana is the co-founder and CEO of Effectiva, a tech company that teaches technology how to read and respond to your emotions.
Emotional intelligence has been ingrained in storytelling since the dawn of time. You're using your face to express emotion, but you're also looking at your audience's facial expressions and adapting the story in real time. If they're interested, you keep going. If they're not, you change the course of the story, what we now call reactive narrative.
This is Rana's interview playing for an audience. Like your entertainment today, however, the interview does not react to your emotions. It's recorded, frozen in time. That's what Rana's changing.
So in the past, storytelling was very fluid, but today, if you think about most of the content we consume, it's not adaptive. Today's technology has lots of IQ, but no EQ, lots of cognitive intelligence, but no emotional intelligence. So that got me thinking, what if our technology could sense our emotions?
You see, with emotionally intelligent technology, interfaces are replaced with faces. What if two people had entirely different experiences watching the same content, all based on how they felt? That's where responsive media comes in. For example, let's say a whole family loves mysteries, but dad is really grossed out by all the blood. Mom loves it. Hal likes all the romantic scenes, even though he says he doesn't. So dad's version is a little light on the blood and heavier on the comedy. Mom's is a complete bloodbath, and Hal's is a sweeping love story.
And so in that world, what if our entertainment could react to our emotions in real time? What if a story could be personalized based on how you're feeling? And I think that creates an entire new industry, really, for incorporating emotions into your digital experience.
Imagine stories reacting to your emotions, endings changing depending on the characters you're interested in. Soon, our stories will be just as dynamic as life itself. Living, breathing, emotionally intelligent. An infinite number of personalized narratives, all based on how you feel. You see, you won't just experience stories. Your stories will evolve through you.
So tell me something. How do you feel?
Wasn't that cool? I hope there is a bit technical difficulty, so I think I'm good to go. Can you confirm, Nitish, once? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's going good. Yeah.
Cool. And this was the last but not the least, and my favorite keynote speaker, who was Mick Ebling. He is a CEO and founder of Not Impossible Labs. Was also a keynote speaker last year, and he gave a presentation on what exactly his company is working on. I actually need to play one more video because the kind of work he is doing, it is very difficult for me to convert those awesome work into words. So I would let everyone see watch a video, and then we'll talk more about it. So I'll go with that again.
We have the ability to truly change the world. There's no blueprint on how to do this. There's no pathway to follow. All you need to do is just say, I'm committing to changing that. And then you figure out how the heck you're going to pull it off. This one night, I happened to show up at a gallery event where I was exposed to an artist named Tempt One.
Mick had a fantastic time. He really loved the community. He just was really intrigued.
This incredible artist had Lou Gehrig's disease, he had ALS, and had been lying motionless in a bed for 7 years. He wasn't able to express himself and communicate and draw. And for me, that was that aha moment. We were going to figure out a way to help Tempt One draw again. I started to just talk to people and network with people. I brought in people from literally 6 different continents, and they descended upon our house.
The whole experience was marvelous. Being in the room, seeing what goes on with prototyping.
Yeah, this is heavy.
With programmers and hackers, total artists in a totally different way, but artists nonetheless.
And eventually, after 2.5 weeks, we finally came up with the iWriter. With his friends and family and everybody gathered downstairs.
Is he drawing his name?
He's drawing those with his eyes. Tempt drew again. It was just this incredible experience. Shortly after, I received an email from Tempt that said, that was the first time I'd drawn anything for 7 years. I feel like I've been held underwater, and someone finally reached out and pulled my head up. And that was the launch of Not Impossible. One of our core tenets is technology for the sake of humanity. If we can be examples in the things that we're doing and the things that we're changing, what if other people can see that and say, wait a second, I can change my world? And that's where it transitions from just being a company of employees to a movement of people that are doing something way bigger than themselves. If not now, when? And if not you, then who? I'm Mick Ebling, founder, Not Impossible Labs.
I love this guy. So the moral of the story is whichever technology you are working on, if you look around, if you use that technology to help the people in their personal life, in their personal problems, or like he started resolving or fixing the disability of the people who are like maybe physically challenged, and use the technology to make their life better. I don't think there would be no more better use of technology other than that. So these were the four keynote speakers. I promise no more video there. So as every year it happens at Symposium, this year as well, Sitecore give away the experience awards for the winners. These are basically the companies and the clients who are using Sitecore and various ways with innovation, scalability, and performance. There were basically 4 criteria. The first criteria was best business impact or ROI from the digital experience, and Subway, Tohoku, and a couple of other companies were awarded under that particular category. And second one was the best personalized customer experience, where we had United Health Group, Hong Kong Institute of Certified Public Accounts, as well as there is a bank in Dubai, which is Emirates and NBD. And the third category was the most innovative use of Sitecore as a digital experience platform, and these were the winners. And the fourth and the last category was best commerce experience, and these were the winners. Among all the winners, there was also a People Choice Award. It was based on the voting basis on the live audience which was present at the symposium. So everyone got chance to vote for one of these winners, and Subway was a winner for the People Choice Award among all these companies who won the Experience Award for Sitecore. And of course, there were a lot of technical and session based on the marketing topics by various community members. And as every year, it was very difficult to choose one of the session which you want to attend. After the symposium, people have already posting the copy of their slides on the social media channels. So if you see there was a talk from Peter on what's new in the Sitecore land. He have already posted the link for his uh, slides on the social media channel. So if any of the social media, if you go through these kind of slides, I recommend you to go through the slides and reach out the person if you have any specific questions for this talk. Okay, let's see what all is coming in Sitecore version 9.3. So at the symposium, Sitecore have officially launched Sitecore version 9.3, which would be available to download to the external world somewhere between December. So let me start with uh, what SIA can do. SIA is you all may have aware that with Sitecore 9.2, Sitecore launched a Sitecore install assistant, which takes back to the Sitecore installation, to the wizard based installation which we used to have on version 7 and 8 and 6 and all those stuff. So there are a couple of things which is coming new into the Sitecore SIA. So if you see these two screens, now you need not to do anything manually on Sitecore 9.3, which starts from your installing all the prerequisites which if you have got chance to install 9.0.0 so far, there was a lot of prerequisites you have to install, especially when you are installing them on a server, like all those additional MSIs which are related to either SQL Server or your Windows or so. All the prerequisites would be automatically taken care of SIA, which was already the case on Sitecore version 9.2. But on 9.3, when it comes to Solar, you have to do nothing to make your Solar installed. Create your Solar service and make the Solar working on HTTPS. It's all the SIA will do everything for you. And the next and the pretty cool thing is if you want to install any of the optional modules, which is Sitecore SXA is coming out of the box at this moment. So when you are installing Sitecore 9.3 and if SXA is already part of your license, SIA will install SXA for you as well. You need not to do any additional installation for SXA on Sitecore 9.3. So these are the two cool things coming into the SIA on Sitecore version 9.3. Let's talk about my favorite module, which is Sitecore Forms, and what are the new features and what are the performance improvements coming into the Sitecore 9.3 version of Forms. It start with when you are working on a form and when you have done designing and when you have saved the form, and in current scenario, if you want to publish that form, you need to go into the content tree, you need to select that item, and then you go to the publishing menu. On Sitecore 9.3, the publishing option would be available inside Sitecore module itself. So the page where you get the list of all the forms, you just select the form you want to publish, and there is a drop down which I will show you later in the live demo. If you have created a form and you are doing a lot of testing and everything is looking good, and if you want to go live with that form, you obviously need to delete all the junk data which you have created so far while you were actually testing that form. As of now, we don't have any of the options. So what we do is we save that form as a template. We create a form, we create a new form out of that template, and we assign that form again to the presentation component. But from Sitecore 9.3, there is an option that you select a form, and if you want to delete the historical data from that form, there is a confirm email field coming in, which was a requirement in one of my previous projects. So we had to create a custom field, but on Sitecore 9.3, email confirmation field would be part of the platform. Also, there is a new field coming in for the file upload feature. If you want to create a form which is giving now an option to the user to upload a file to your to your website. So there would be an option available to add those fields on your form. Bye CAPTCHA. So if you are working on a project where you are designing a form, maybe a contact us form or a survey form, and the client wants to avoid all those bots and on the website, the only option you are left with either to create your own CAPTCHA or install the Sitecore form extension module, which gives you a field of reCAPTCHA from Sitecore 9.3. The bot detection would be a part of the form out of the box. You need not to implement any kind of CAPTCHA field on your form. On the successful submission of the form, if you want to redirect the control on an external URL with couple of parameters in the external URL, there would be an option available where you there is a new submission coming in where you can after the successful submission, you can send the control to an external URL and pass a couple of the parameters on the basis of fields which are available on your form. There are a couple of database improvements, and there are a couple of questions onto Sitecore Stack Exchange when people face the problem that for the very first time after installation, the first form they create onto the Sitecore form module, they do not see that form. They need to go and rebuild the master indexes, but from Sitecore 9.3, this should not be a case. So let's see how that goes. Okay, let me jump to a quick demo so we can come back on the presentation. So let me show you a quick view of the SIA, which would be coming into Sitecore 9.3. So as we all know that this is how the SIA looks like. When you click on start, you will get an option if you want to install, if you want SIA to install and configure your Windows Server prerequisites and the Sitecore installation framework. You click on this particular small install button, which is already part of Sitecore 9.2. But if you want to skip that step, you can do that. This is the place where you just want to give the port on where you want to install the Solar, and you give the name of the Windows service, and you want to give the path where you want to install and configure Solar, and SIA will do everything for you, which starts with installing Solar 8.1.1, I think, which is compatible with Sitecore 9.3. It will configure it on HTTP, then it will create a Windows service, then it will create all those .jks file, which is required to run your Solar on HTTPS. And once you are done installing, it will you would be able to access the Solar on HTTPS. And let me try if I can do that. I want to skip. I don't know. When I click on go, and when I think it should work. I just want to show you the option of the optional. So once you have done providing all the parameters on these tabs, you will get an option if you want to install an optional Sitecore module where SXA is an option so far. So you just click on this little checkbox here, next, and the SIA will install everything for you. The excellent thing here is this time when I was installing Sitecore 9.3 using SIA, it literally took around 11 to 12 minutes to install the whole Sitecore experience platform end to end, including SXA. So I'm pretty sure that people are gonna love it when it is live in December. Now let me take you to my Sitecore instance. As we all know that after Sitecore 9.2, when you are doing an installation, the identity server would be already part of the platform, so you need not to install it separately like 9.1 or something. Let me open Sitecore. Meanwhile, it loads. Why don't we go back to the presentation and have a look at the next slides? Reversioning of SXA. This is my experience so far. The time when SXA was the very first version was 1.0 with I think Sitecore 8, some of the version. Then there are already 12 or 13 SXA version are out, and there are different version for Sitecore. There are different version for SXA. Every time either you have to refer to the compatibility metrics that which SXA is compatible with Sitecore form, with Sitecore version exactly. So there was a lot of confusion, but from Sitecore 9.3 onwards, they are reversioning the SXA and which will match the version of Sitecore. So when you say Sitecore 9.3, it would be the SXA version 9.3, and it would be carry on the cadence in the future as well, when maybe 9.3.1 or 9.4 is coming out. The same version of SXA would be coming in. Okay, so let me log in. So this is my working Sitecore 9.3 installation on my personal laptop, where I would show you a couple of the features which we talk about the Sitecore forms. So let's see how that goes. So on the launch, nothing new. Everything is the same as we have on most of the Sitecore 9 platform, apart from the Experience Manager, which was not part on 9.0.0. When I click on forms, it takes to me the same form canvas or the Sitecore form module. Okay. So let me start with the new option, which are available outside the form editor. So if I select this particular form and I click on this down, I will get an option to publish this form on all the publishing target in all the language version, and I will also get an option to delete the data which have been recorded for this particular form so far. When I get inside the form. Here you go. So into the right rail where we have all those components available, you can see there is a field for file upload, and there is a field for email confirmation, and you can also see these field onto the form canvas into the main content pane. When it comes to the submit action, and when you try to assign all those activities which you want to perform on your submit action, as I told you that there is a new submit action coming in, which is a redirect to URL. Let me delete it and
Hey Amitabh, I'm not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now, Nish?
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I don't think I don't know what went wrong with that mobile option which you suggested, but never mind. So it's good. It's good to go now.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about the parameters in the query string. So you can select the form field which you want to send as a parameter in your query string, and you need to provide the name of the query string parameter. When you click OK, and you should be all set. Also, when you save this form, I think I need to go back for that. Oops. Okay, maybe some issue. So when I open this form again onto the editing mode, and if I go in the settings, in the bottom right corner, you will see the robot detection is enabled. So this is if you want to avoid the bots onto your Sitecore form, which is live onto your website, you just need to come here and make this check mark checked, and you should be all set. Apart from that, so when I installed Sitecore 9.3, and when I came in and when I created this particular form for the very first time, I need not to rebuild the master indexes at all. It was right there when I just created a form and save it. Let me jump back to the presentation real quick. So we have already talked about the reversioning of the SXA. So all the confusion is all gone now. So we should be all set. What else is coming into the Sitecore 9.3? So meanwhile, my friend Peter was busy in driving the MVP scooter and killing the people on the way. I quickly steal his presentation, which he gave a excellent talk in Sitecore Symposium on what's new coming into the Sitecore land. So we'll go on a couple of the slides he used, and which are also available onto all the social media channels if you want to go and download those. When it comes to improvements and the new features on SXA, SXA on 9.3 coming with a lot of new features and enhancements. I would like to start with the Scriben, which is going to be a new template engine for the SXA, which also have a extension to Visual Studio Code, and which will help us to create the renderings, which would be like much more faster than we have it right now with SXA. If you want to get more details about what Scriben is and how does that work and how that is integrated with SXA, this is the GitHub URL where you can go and have a look. And I think the talk from Adam is also available onto the social media channels. If you want to go through the technicalities behind the Scriben in detail, please feel free to go and have a look. There are two additional features have been added. If you are working on a very large scale project and you have created a lot of page renderings and a lot of new components into your Sitecore content tree for SXA, there is a filter and the facet summary provided. Like into this particular image, if you see that the user have searched the fruit color as green and the size is big, so these on the basis of these filters you would be able to filter out all the components. Like if you have really big list of the component, this will help you to create the facets and make a search on those on all those SXA components. The workflow, the front end workflow is being completely revamped. So now if you have used Creative Exchange, the live theming of the Creative Exchange would be exported as an npm packages now. So that is changing a bit on at the and where we basically export the theme and do the changes into the CSS and HTML standpoint and import it back. Those would be imported and exported as an npm packages. We can fully versions the themes now. So if you have created a couple of themes into your SXA, there would be an option where you can create versions of the theme, so you can refer back the previous version of the theme which you were using. And the documentation of the whole list of the JavaScript APIs is fully documented now. You can also Google it. Like if you go on Google right now, and if you do a search SXA JavaScript APIs for Sitecore, you will see this particular page as an output which lists all the APIs which is available out of the box for the SXA JavaScript standpoint. He talked about three main development approaches, which is Sitecore Custom, which we are doing from years and years, and the second is Sitecore SXA, and the third one is Sitecore GSS. We already know about all these, and we talked what's new coming in SXA. When it comes to improvement into the Sitecore Custom, there are 5 major improvements coming in. One, and which is kind of a bigger for me, the Sitecore N velocity is now obsolete. So if any of your project right now, if you are using Sitecore N velocity at a full extent, it's time to do an upgrade, or if there is any obsolete code which is not being supported, then you need to take care of that as well. There are a couple of XConnect improvements. There are a couple of improvements coming into the experience editor when we are saying the navigation and control bar would be enabled by default when you so in today's scenario, if you open the experience editor, the navigation and the control bars are not out of the box enabled. You need to enable those manually, so those would be out of the box enabled when you open the experience editor on 9.3. There is a new page mode is exploring is coming in. So if you want to implement some of the logic like on top of all the page editor modes which we have, like is editing and all those stuff, there is a new page editor mode coming in. Then there are a couple of reporting improvements and the performance improvements. On Sitecore GSS, is a good news for the people who are working on Apple machines. So they would be able to build their own GSS application on their local machine and connect that application to a remote Sitecore service through a specific tunnel. I have not got a chance to work on JSS so far, so I might not be able to relate it so much. But if anyone on the call is using Sitecore JSS for any of their projects, this is a news for you. As we all know that Hedgehog is now acquired by Sitecore, so all the tools, like if we talk about Sitecore development tools, there is a new version of Sitecore TDS coming in, and the Rizzle and the Phaedra would be no more Hedgehog. It would be Sitecore TDS, Sitecore Rizzle, and Sitecore Phaedra. At the symposium, Sitecore also announced Sitecore service, as Sitecore SaaS platform, which would be available, I'm assuming, somewhere in the spring next year, which opens a lot of doors, for my understanding, for the people or for the client who find Sitecore license so expensive. So what my thought process, or what my understanding is, maybe with the Sitecore SaaS, they would be coming with a bit cheaper version of the Sitecore on a SaaS platform. So the customer who are not looking for high level of customization onto the Sitecore platform, and they just want to use Sitecore as a service, this is the good news for them. We are still waiting to hear a lot onto the Sitecore SaaS. So stay tuned on all the social media channels when anything new is being announced onto the Sitecore SaaS platform. Sitecore AI is a new module coming in, which was Sitecore Artificial Intelligence, which is different with Sitecore Cortex, which Sitecore AI would be internally using the Sitecore Cortex, but it will basically give us an option and facility if we want to use the digital marketing automation, if we want to work with Content Hub in an integrated mode, where it resolves a lot of problems when it comes to content crisis. That is where your Sitecore AI will help you. And due to the acquisition of Sitecore and Hedgehog, there are a couple of new things coming into the developer experience. So please stay tuned on all the social media channels. When we talk about Sitecore Content Hub, which is coming with Sitecore 9.3, not as an out of the box module, but there is a separate licensing cost, which actually resolves the content crisis of the clients. Like for an example, if we are having a huge set of content in our Sitecore system, it's very difficult to find the content. It's very difficult to personalize the content, or it is basically the more content you got into your Sitecore in your Sitecore instance, it makes it more difficult to maintain. So for getting rid of all these content crises, there is a 5 modules coming into the Sitecore Content Hub. I will start with Sitecore DAM. Sitecore is coming with their own digital assets management. So if you have a very huge media library, and if you are looking for a Sitecore specific DAM solution, then you have that option now, where you can manage all your digital media components into the Sitecore DAM, and that DAM would be integrated with your with your Sitecore platform. The second tool is Sitecore MRM, which is Marketing Resource Management. This basically helps the content editor or the content management team to manage the content editing or the content management project end to end. there is a new module coming in for the content marketing platform, which is Sitecore CMP. This would be basically a module where we would be able to streamline the content when we are talking about the content strategy, when we are talking about the planning and the creation and the publication of the content. The next module, which is part of Content Hub, is Sitecore PCM, which is the product content management, which would be kind of PIM, product information management, if you are using tools like Sitecore Experience Commerce and all those stuff. So you would be able to manage all your product information into the Sitecore PCM. And the last but not the least is Sitecore W2P, which is web to print, which gives us a facility for printed media and in that kind of world. This is how the Sitecore Content Hub would be integrated with your Sitecore. So if you see the image into the right rail, where if I want to browse an image and assign to any of the image field or assign in any of the RTE, I would get an option to browse those particular images from Sitecore DAM, and I can select those particular those media library items. Excuse me. Back in 2017 Symposium, Sitecore announced a tool which is Horizon, which gives a new interface to the Sitecore content editing team with a lot of new and cool features. From Sitecore 9.3, Horizon would be available out of the box. It is not installed, but it is a separate module. Let me give you a quick. So this is the set which I got with the Sitecore 9.3 installation. So you will get a Sitecore Horizon 9.3 as a preview, which you would be able to install both on premises as well as on your Azure platform, which gives us basically three options, which makes the content editing way more easier and better, which would be something like this. Your entire experience of the content editing is going to be changed, where you will find a lot of new options for content tagging, searching of the content, and all those kind of stuff. Plus, out of the box, it will also allows to simulate if you want to test your page on multi-device delivery of the content when we are talking about the responsiveness of the site. And it will also give us insight on how the page performance is doing. So stay tuned. There are, I think, already the official documentation is live onto the Sitecore of Sitecore official website. So go and have a look at it. And if you whenever Sitecore 9.3 is launched and available for download in this December, give it a shot and install the Sitecore Horizon on your 9.3 instance. So 6 minutes left. What's new is coming for MVPs. Year 2018, year 2019 and year 2020 was very exciting for Sitecore MVPs. In 2019, we were allowed to use an specific Sitecore license, so we can use that Sitecore MVP license for our personal learning, like the way we have that Sitecore development trial, which is in 60 days of expiry. But Sitecore in 2019, they provide experience platform license to all the Sitecore MVPs, where they can grab that license and feel free to install all the Sitecore experience platform versions on your on the personal laptop, especially for the learning purpose only. But in 2020, Sitecore MVPs would be getting the free license for almost all the products of Sitecore, which includes Experience Platform, Experience Commerce. We will also get like the 2020 MVPs will also get developer license for a TDS and Resel, Fidra, and Avatar, which is a content control tool. So I'm pretty much excited. If I become an MVP again, I would be able to use all these cool licenses for free. And if you are working as an independent contractor or even for a client, and if you want to raise a ticket which you have experienced when you are exploring the Sitecore on your own, and you are not allowed to use the Sitecore support portal for the client for their under their license, but now Sitecore MVPs will get the Sitecore support access if you want to raise a ticket which is not related to any of the client, but that is your own observation when you're working on the Sitecore platform. You would be having an option now to create your own support tickets as an MVP. And there is a new program coming in, which is documentation contribution program. So all those cool Sitecore documentation we have out there, if you see if there is any mistake in the document, if you see any area of improvisation, as a community member, you will get an option to do the editing into the content, which will obviously go through a workflow and had to get approved. So there would be news for this particular program very soon. So you as a Sitecore community member will get an option to improvise the Sitecore documentation on your own. Looking at all these stuff, if you think that you want to become a Sitecore MVP, there is an excellent question onto the Sitecore Stack Exchange, which give you an end-to-end idea what all you have to do to become a Sitecore MVP. So please go through that question and see how you find yourself into that Sitecore MVP space. And that's a wrap from my side. I'm open for questions. I think, Nitesh, I need to go to the YouTube channel if I'm not wrong.
So, guys, if you have any queries, you can drop it on the chat window. We'll wait for a minute and then we can wrap the session.
I have to go to the YouTube channel, right?
No, I can say it from myself.
No, okay.
Otherwise, the videos will be available on our channel. So at any later point, if you want to watch the video, you can share with your friends and then watch it at a later stage.
And I already share all the social media channels. If you have any questions, hit me on Slack or hit me on Twitter or LinkedIn or anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. So we are almost on time, and I think we can wrap the session now.
Yep.
As we don't have any questions. So thanks, Amitabh, especially thanks for your time so early in the morning. I really appreciate your contribution for the Sitecore community.
My
and
pleasure.
Thank you for joining, and we'll be notifying you for our next session. Thank
Awesome.
you so much. Yeah, bye.
Thanks, Adam, for joining. Bye.